We are live. Nashville Superspeedway. Ally 400. I'll give people time to get in here. Make sure I tweet out that I'm live. Denny Hamlin on the pole. Obvious race favorite. You know, he went and won at Dover earlier this year, which is obviously a comparable track. Also had a really good car at Kansas, had a really good car at Vegas, which are, you know, if you've seen the Goodyear tire notes for this weekend, same tire combination as Las Vegas, same tire combination as Kansas, and same tire combination as Texas. Texas is different than those other two, so kind of just looking more at Kansas and Las Vegas when it comes to actual similar tracks. But definitely throw in Kansas, throw in Vegas, throw in Dover because of the concrete aspect of it. Obviously, Nashville is a concrete racetrack. Looking at practice yesterday, Ty Gibbs super fast in that Group A. Group A had the speed advantage in yesterday's practice. Ty Gibbs, Blaney was up there, did not qualify very well. Blaney didn't. Bubba Wallace was up there, third fastest. He did not qualify very well. So a lot of these guys that practiced and were fast in practice, it didn't translate to qualifying, or it didn't. They weren't able to back up that speed in qualifying. You know, you look at the top 7 fastest cars at in practice yesterday. We had Ty Gibbs, Ryan Blaney, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, Todd Gilliland, Kyle Larson, and Joey Logano. Now you look at where they actually qualified. Ty Gibbs was fastest. He qualified 8th. Ryan Blaney, second fastest. He qualified 18th. Bubba Wallace, third fastest. He qualified 24th. Chastain, fourth fastest, qualified 20th. Gilliland, fifth fastest. He qualified way back in 32nd. Larson qualified well. He'll start 4th today. He was 6th fastest in practice. He's not a co-favorite with Hamlin today to win the race, but he's up there as definitely one of the favorites, along with Martin Truex Jr. and Christopher Bell. And then Joey Logano, 7th fastest, looked really good on the long run. He qualified 26th. I heard there was something about on the broadcast that he might have had like an engine miss or something in qualifying. I haven't seen anything this morning. If anybody has, let me know in the comments here if they have something going on with that engine, and that could have been why they didn't qualify well. But Blaney didn't qualify well either. Blaney starts 18th. And then, like I said, Truex was really fast on the long run in Group B. The fact that he was able to put up, we look at these 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 lap averages. Truex was 12th quickest in 10 lap average, 9th quickest in 15 lap average, and 5th quickest in 20 lap average. And that's being in Group B. You look at everyone else in Group B, and nobody really had that speed. Outside, Corey Heim actually didn't do too bad. Corey Heim, 13th fastest in 10 lap average, 10th fastest in 15 lap average, and 8th fastest in 20 lap average. But as far as the long runs, Ryan Blaney was the best, 10, 15, 20 lap average. It looked really solid there. Ty Gibbs was very quick in practice when it came to the longer runs. Josh Berry was up there. He qualified 2nd. He's a little bit of maybe a surprise dominator today. Could maybe steal this race win, to be honest with you, with the way that team's running right now. Obviously Childers is good at setting up the car. Childers is good at strategy. If Berry can just maintain track position and their pit crew cannot screw up, there's no reason why he can't challenge for the win today. As weird as that sounds, he's still a 20-1 long shot, but Josh Berry's definitely entering the conversation of maybe, playing spoiler to these playoffs and, getting in and knocking someone like a Joey Logano out. So, but yeah, so what I was getting at more so before I went on that little tangent there, there's quite a few place differential plays this week. we don't really have a significant chalk guy or two. I mean, obviously, Truex and Blaney are going to be chalky, but it's not like I don't think we're going to see like over 50% ownership today. I will say, like Hamlin and Larson, I don't know what DraftKings was doing with pricing today or this week for Nashville. Just kind of weird overall. They went really soft on pricing. Larson's at the top at 10,005. Hamlin's at 10.3, Bell's at 10. You can really build lineups today with good lineups and stuff a lot of the top guys in there. And there's enough, lower price guys that we like. It's kind of pick and choose and who's going to be the best down there. Yeah, Cindric 20-1. And like even like Cindric at 20-1. I'm not betting Cindric 20-1. And I'm not betting Barry 20-1. Like the odds are still quite short, too short for me to bet those. Like that's what I mean by sneaky. He's it's not like sneaky, but he doesn't have a win in the Cup Series ever. So how do you balance practice groups versus qualifying spots? Yeah, I'm not worried about qualifying at all. This is Nashville. We've seen be about a 2 or 3 dominator race, and I think you can build lineups today. With those place differential plays like a Truex, like to me, the two obvious dominators today are Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson. Now you can build lineups with Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson in it. It's perfectly capable of doing that because of the pricing this week. But at the same time, you can build a lineup and have plenty left over and room to play with starting right there with Hamlin, Truex, Blaney. Boom, boom, boom. You got Hamlin, Truex, Blaney. You still have almost 6,900 per remaining driver. Like there's so much room to play with here. You could even come up, like if you wanted to grab a Ross Chastain, you could do that and then like throw in an Allmendinger. And it's like, it's not the most upside lineup on like with Daniel Hemrick on there. But at the same time, Daniel Hemrick has a knack for just randomly finishing in the mid-20s, and that's all you really need out of a $5,100 driver. AJ Allmendinger moves up and gets in the teens, like I'm fully expecting him to do. Like that Colleague car is pretty good, has been pretty good at Nashville. Allmendinger was really good at Dover. I think Allmendinger can move up and like he's good on concrete tracks. I think he'll be fine today. So you get those two lower anchor guys. Now you got Hamlin, who's the number one dominator, potential dominator today. You got Truex, who if he gets up there can dominate. Like Truex is really good at Nashville, has been really good at Nashville. Blaney, as long as he gets up there, he could get up there and lead. So now you potentially have 3 dominators. And then Chastain has been great at Nashville. I personally am not I would much rather be underweight on Chastain today than overweight on him, just because the number of times that he looks good in practice, has good track record, the number of times this year that has happened, and then race day comes and he doesn't lay an egg, but he just finishes in that 8th to 12th range. I think I would rather take the upside maybe if I wanted to get like a second dominator on there, come off of Chastain and come to like a Ty Gibbs, come to a Tyler Reddick, maybe even come to Keselowski. Now, the RFK cars had a ton of speed, kind of surprised by how much speed they had in practice, but they didn't really make any long runs. So we don't really know how to analyze that because neither Buescher or Keselowski made long runs in practice. So will they actually have the long run speed? I'm hopeful that they will. I'm optimistic that they will because so many other Fords had long run speed. You look at Noah Gragson, great long run speed. Josh Berry obviously had great long run speed. So like if those Fords have good long run speed, I'm confident. Blaney, like Logano, they both had good long run speed. So the fact that those Fords had good long run speed, I'm confident that guys like Keselowski and Buescher will have similar speed. So you have to throw in Keselowski in there. But that opens up the door. If you want to get off of Hemrick, you come down instead of going to Chastain, who's a little bit more chalky. You can get off the Hemrick, and then you can come up here. You can grab a Justin Haley. You can grab a Corey LaJoie. Now, you remember back to Las Vegas. I'm really kind of big on the Spire cars today. You remember the speed that they had at Las Vegas. Hocevar qualified 15th. He's going to be super low owned because he qualified so high. Who's to say he can't sneak in a top 10 finish? Like, just something you have to think about this week. And then the same thing with LaJoie. You know, he could have the similar speed again, like they had at Vegas. LaJoie starts 21st. You know, who's to say he won't get a team's finish? But obviously, you know, you can come up and grab Justin Haley. Yeah, he has that pass-through penalty. I think he has that pass-through penalty. There's a little bit of quite a bit of confusion there yesterday on what exactly was all going on with Justin Haley, but I'm pretty sure that he will have to serve a pass-through penalty once the race starts. He's going to have to drop to the rear and then serve a pass-through penalty once the race actually starts going green. But we've never seen I won't say never. We have rarely seen that penalty become an issue for drivers, so I'm not too worried about it. And that's kind of where I'm at with that, because I'm sure I'm going to get a question on that. Who would you use for DK boost, Byron or Truex to win, or someone else? I don't think Byron is going to contend today. I'm not really high on Byron. I'm honestly a little bit lower on Larson than a lot of people are. Just Hendrick overall, I'm a little bit lower on this week. But looking at they have DraftKings has Larson and Hamlin as co-favorites. That's interesting. Honestly, I don't know what the boost is. Is there like a specific boost today that everyone gets, or is this like your boost? Let me log in here and see if I have any boosts sitting here. Yeah, I'm not really seeing any boosts here, but honestly, I'd probably use it. I'd probably use it on Hamlin. Maybe a Bell. Pockers picked Bell to win. Bell is showing up really high in my algorithm predicted finishing order. I think this race comes down to like I think sportsbooks have it pretty set. So for a boost, you know, as weird as it sounds, I'd probably go Hamlin on it. Hamlin or Truex. You look at who's been great here at Nashville and who's had speed this season. Denny Hamlin definitely pops, and then Truex. Man, if that team can just stop shooting themselves in the foot, he's gonna get a win. And I think once he finally gets a win, he's gonna go on a little run and get more wins. But yeah, I mean, they should have won last week. Truex had the best car at New Hampshire last week. It wasn't close. Christopher Bell did not have the best car last week. He won kind of by default. But yeah, I'd probably use it on Truex or Hamlin. I did not realize that DK made those Hamlin and Larson co-favorites today, though. That's interesting. But anyway, so sitting here, if you come down and grab Ty Gibbs, can do that. I'm kind of just playing around with this first. I'm actually going to stick with this first. I'm going to put in this first lineup that I had. The Hamlin, Truex, Blaney, Chastain, Allmendinger, Hemrick. I'm going to roll with that one. That's actually, I believe that's that's actually my optimal projected lineup. So surprise, surprise, I like it. Pull up this quick. Get that. Projections. It's going to be very hard for me to build lineups today without just immediately starting Hamlin, Truex. And if that's what kills me, that's what kills me. I am more than confident in rolling with Truex and Hamlin and not thinking twice about it. Like I said, I'm not super high on Larson. I can see why people are. I can see why people would want to build, start a build with Hamlin and Larson. Don't have an issue with that. I'm sure it can be done. But to me, there is so much place differential play here. To me, it's going to take like a perfect scenario of, Hamlin and Larson being the two dominators. So I'd rather keep the door open and potentially have the Truex dominator or the Chase Elliott dominator or Ryan Blaney if he gets up there, like having those kind of options and then rolling with it like that. So this next lineup, once again, I'm just going to go Hamlin, Truex. I'm going to get off of Blaney and I'm going to come down to Chastain here. And I'm kind of just playing around here. You know, obviously I said Bubba Wallace was good. He had pretty good long run speed in practice. See what kind of leftover cash I got here. See, like before I was saying, if you start off with Hamlin, Truex, Blaney, it gives you so much room. You still have room with some of these lower priced drivers. That, like, to me, I would much rather have the lineup I just did, which was the Hamlin, Truex, Chastain, Logano, or not Logano, but Blaney, instead of and go Hemrick instead of going here and going like a Bubba Wallace, Eric Jones. Obviously, you know, if we can cut 100 off of anywhere, you know, if you get off of Truex, I know I just said I'm starting everything with those two, but if you get off of Truex, save $100 here by going to Elliott, you can get off of Jones and come up to Todd Gilliland, you know, who's on absolute fire right now. You know, you look at his finishes lately, 12th, 10th, 16th, 17th, 15th, 15th, 14th. Before that, 8th at Talladega. Just like if they just do what they've been doing lately, he's gonna be in the optimal. Like DraftKings keeps pricing him up, but he still keeps hitting value every single week. But with something like this, you know, and if you didn't want to come off of Elliott, go back up to Truex, get off of Bubba, boom, Josh Berry. Like if you think Josh Berry can definitely get the dominator points, he doesn't need a ton of dominator points here this weekend to hit value at 7,700. Like, you know, if you're dead set on Denny Hamlin, going with the pole sitter, the downsides you can have with the pole sitter, you need him to lead laps. You need him to get fastest laps at 10,003. You don't really need that with Josh Berry. What you need him to do is stay inside the top 10, stay inside the top 8, maybe go out and lead 20 laps, and he's going to hit it for you. And he's going to have that upside. His ownership, you know, someone like a Josh Berry, like as much as people are talking about him, as much hype is behind him, which would drive his ownership up. He's also not priced very well at 7,700. It's that weird section of pricing on DraftKings that you kind of gets lost in the abyss, to be honest with you, every single slate. You know, it's just a weird place to try to get, unless there's like obvious place differential chalk. We really don't focus too much on it. But he has both aspects of being fast in practice. A lot of people talking about him, but the factors that are going to keep his ownership down. So I'm interested to see where Josh Berry ends up ownership wise. I think my projections for him today, ownership, as far as his ownership, is a little too low, but I wouldn't be surprised either if it was, you know, sub 15%. So I'm going to stick with this one right here. I'm going to go Hamlin, Truex, Chastain, Berry, Allmendinger, Gilliland. So it gives you 2 place differential plays in Truex and Chastain. It gives you 2 early dominator potential guys in Denny Hamlin and Josh Berry. Who's to say Josh Berry doesn't somehow get the lead on the start of the race, you know, and then Hamlin comes in and dominates later in the race. And then you got the place differential plays, lower dollar guys of Allmendinger and Gilliland. And you kind of just needed them to do their thing. Decent lineup there. I like it quite a bit if you want to get Josh Berry in there. All right. Here we go. I got back on looking at these comments now. Thoughts on a Josh Berry lineup? Would you go Larson or go for lots of Would you use Larson or go for lots of place differential in Larson? I'm assuming you didn't mean Larson there. Oh, there we go. Thoughts on a Barry lineup? Use Larson or place differential options? I cannot speak. Place differential options like Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, and Ross Chastain. You could definitely do that too. I'm like, well, let's do that quick. Let's go, let's say, so I'm assuming like this kind of lineup, you're saying Josh Berry's going to be the early dominator, and then you want the rest of the place differential plays to come in and potentially be the later dominator. So we're not going to focus on Hamlin. That's kind of how I'm reading that. If I'm wrong, let me know. So if you come in, you got Josh Berry, Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, leaves you $7,100 left to play with. There's a lot you can do there. If you wanted to go, you didn't even have to, like, if you just go Allmendinger here, it's not going to get you up to Bubba. Let me see here. I don't love Bowman this week. What if we did there's a lot of ways you can go here. What's it going to take us to get Logano in there? You go Logano, and then man, you go Haley. To me, that's if you believe in, like, I don't mind digging deep and getting a Justin Haley here. If you think Josh Berry is going to dominate, there's a lot of ways you can go if you don't go Hamlin because of the pricing this week. Could also go LaJoy there if you didn't want to go Haley. Let me pull up. Yeah, I'm with you, Nick. Haley's just one of those, like, he keeps coming out of nowhere, but as far as speed wise, I agree. LaJoy over. Yeah, LaJoy's been pretty solid. Like I said, I like those Spire cars. Where the hell am I? Haley was decent at Kansas, but yeah. I'd rather go LaJoy. You're not going to go Burton. Zane Smith, you're just hoping for attrition. And then Hemrick, you're hoping for attrition too. So I don't hate this lineup at all. If you like the Josh Berry aspect of it, you don't think Hamlin's gonna, because, like, if Hamlin's early dominated here, Hamlin goes out and leads 100 laps, like, this lineup's gonna be toast. Maybe not toast, but it's not gonna be top. I think the pole sitter, I believe, at Nashville has led like an average of 90 something laps every time. Chastain led 90 something last year. Hamlin led 100 and something the year before. LaJoy and 1, 2, 3. Yep. Okay. Put that in there. Yeah, that was actually so one of my early week bets this week was Daniel Hemrick to finish top 10 this week. Based off of that. Based off of not only that, he actually had speed at Dover this year. And then Colleague just overall typically has been better. Nashville's been one of their good tracks for Colleague. So yeah, I think it was definitely worth a 45-1, sprinkle bet there. I actually used a boost on Fanatics to get it to 54-1. Obviously, I have no intent or no expectation that is going to hit, but I don't think Hemrick doesn't have that kind of speed today. But if he, like I said earlier, he kind of just has this way of sneaking into the top, top 30, top 25. And if he can do that at 5,100 and it allows you that much extra room to get up and play around with the salary cap, definitely worth. Like, I don't mind going not heavy, but decently, like having a lot more Daniel Hemrick than I typically do. I will say that. I ran my projections through the optimizer this morning, just ran 150 lineups, did not change anything. And Hemrick 16.7% is how many lineups he actually ended up on. So another line that my projections like comes with Hamlin, Truex, Blaney, Bubba Wallace, Allmendinger, and Stenhouse. Stenhouse, they've been using strategy lately to get, top 10 finishes actually lately. He's actually been pretty decent here at Nashville as well. So there's upside there. He starts 23rd, which is going to keep his ownership low. But, he was about let me pull up, where am I at? Going back to Dover, Stenhouse actually had a decent car at Dover. Dover, he was 10th in green flag speed. At Vegas, he was 23rd, and at Kansas, Stenhouse was 20th. So him starting 23rd, having, basically top 23 speed in all three comparable tracks this year, and having a pretty good record at Nashville specifically, I don't hate going with Stenhouse this week either. And you can even use him, like I said, I really liked Allmendinger this week. I don't mind using him as a pivot off of Allmendinger either. If you wanted to, I'm going to put this one in, then I'm going to come back to this. So Hamlin, Truex, Blaney, Bubba, Allmendinger, Stenhouse. Bubba kind of, man, he needs a damn good run. I've liked him like the last however many weeks, and I was definitely heavy on him last week at New Hampshire. That didn't work out very well. He had a good car there at the end, though. Like it was there, but shit happens. So if you go Stenhouse here, and then you go Rick, to kind of get you this, yeah, you get the same here. Here's interesting. So if you go, remember our first lineup that we did was Hamlin, Truex, Blaney, Chastain, Allmendinger, Hemrick. Take that same one. You could, if you didn't want to go Truex chalk, you now have Hamlin, Bell, Blaney. Like if you think once again Martin Truex Jr.'s team is going to kill him, it gets you some of these place differential, or it gives you like the solid, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, but it also gets you Bell. You could also, like I said, I'm not as high as others on Ross Chastain today. Come off of Chastain, grab Logano, come off of Blaney. Oh, I do like Elliott. For a second, I thought, I for some reason I thought Truex was 9,700 and Elliott wasn't, but I still like that. And he gets you Bell, who, like I said, Pocker's picked him to win. My algorithm predicted finishing orders high on him. I just don't know if he has the dominator potential to get there. Obviously he has the starting position. He starts third, but because I'm probably going to be wrong. I'll say that, but the number of times that he has came out this year I understand he's really good at this racetrack, but we said the same thing about him at Dover. He came out and, for comparatively speaking to where he typically is at Dover, laid an egg. And these weekends where he doesn't qualify up front, he typically doesn't have the race speed that we expect. So I do like practice speeds look good. Don't get me wrong. I think he's going to be over-owned. I'd rather go. Nick Ross is the guy that I want to be underweight on today. Him, as far as place differential play. So that's kind of why I'm not as I'm high on Ross. I'm just not as high as what I think everybody else is going to be. Kyle Busch. Oops. Yeah, I figured you would. We're not. That's actually good though, because now we're not completely on the same page about everything. I don't think. I hope I'm wrong. I just put 4 units on him to make the playoffs. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he goes out and wins this damn race. But DFS, I'd rather go underweight. Speaking of good runs, Kyle Busch is in dire straits of a good run. Could it be this week? It could be. Austin Dillon came out of nowhere, qualified 11th. Typically, when one of them has speed, the other one has speed. Could this be the week to run Kyle Busch? Could. He's so hard to trust right now, which is going to keep people away from him. But he's been solid at Nashville specifically. He's been actually, I think, one of the best at Nashville as far as, let me pull this up real quick. Not the best, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, ninth best in average running position at Nashville. Has grabbed quite a few fastest laps in the 2 next gen races. So he was like a mid-teens car speed-wise at the comparable tracks this year. But with his price, and starting 27th, he doesn't need to get a top 10 finish. We come down to, let's go Kansas. Kyle Busch was 5th in green flag speed at Kansas, 4th in green flag speed at Dover. So I was a little wrong. He's a little bit faster than I even knew. And then, yeah, you remember back at Las Vegas how much speed he had. I wonder why he qualified so bad. If there was a reason. Because didn't he have decent speed in practice too? No, he was shit in practice. Maybe they just missed that setup. 21st and 10 lap average. He was in Group B, wasn't he? And this might be the week to go a little bit more Kyle Busch than what a lot of people are saying. I'm gonna lock this lineup in here because I do like it, even though there's no Truex on it. I mean, you can still come down and grab Truex off of Bell. Actually, I almost want to do that. Grab Truex. Could get you a Reddick off Logano if you don't like Logano. If you come down and grab Blaney, get you 57. Not going to go Austin Dillon there. Yeah, I'm going to roll with this one. Go Hamlin, Truex, Elliott, Logano, Stenhouse, Hemrick. Okay. Where is... Okay, what if we did this to get Kyle Busch on there? What if we go Hamlin? Oops. Hamlin, Truex, Blaney. Kyle Busch, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Carson Hocevar. That's assuming Kyle Busch doesn't shit the bed. But it is promising his track record here at Nashville, as well as speed at similar tracks this year. But just like not having any speed this weekend, and it really makes me wonder if they just tried to go completely off the wall and missed it. That'd be my first guess of what could have happened there. Because they're essentially in, they have to win, or that has to be their mindset. But yeah, I'm going to stick this or save this. Stenhouse and then Hocevar. Like I said, I do like Hocevar this week. I like LaJoy. I think they're both going to be pretty low owned. Buescher, Bowman, Wallace. How would you rate that range? I'm not really there on Bowman. He was decent at Dover though, wasn't he? Go back to Dover, and that could be one of those that kind of overlooking. Bowman was 7th in green flag speed at Dover. Finished 8th. Starting 12th. I mean, it's kind of like, obviously in that price range, people are going to go Kyle Busch, or they're going to go Bubba Wallace, or they're going to come down and grab Josh Berry because everybody's talking about him. So a little bit of a, contrarian or lower owned play there that could have surprising upside would be Bowman. Pull up this real quick. What's funny is if you went Bowman there instead of that last lineup that we did without Kyle Busch in it, you could do the same one but get Allmendinger. You come off of Stenhouse and grab Allmendinger, or stick with Stenhouse, come off of Truex and go up to Bell. You go Hamlin, Bell, Blaney, Bowman, Stenhouse, Hocevar. If you wanted to go Ross there, it gives you plenty of room to jump up. And, if you want to go Eric Jones, who starts 34th, you could off of Stenhouse. Or you could get off of Bowman, go Bubba Wallace, Hamlin, Larson, Chastain, Bubba, Stenhouse, Hocevar. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be throwing that lineup in. Like a lot. I saw a question here earlier. Thoughts on 42 or 43 cars? Yeah, they are so bad at qualifying. It happens every week, but somehow Jones typically, he moves up. So I don't mind Eric Jones at all this week. I think he's going to be a little chalky in that price range, but I don't mind him. Personally, I'd rather go Allmendinger or Stenhouse. I think they have better upside, but Jones is one of those, like, starting 34th, there's no reason why he can't get into the mid-20s. You don't need a lot from him to get there. See, like this lineup here, you got Hamlin, who's number one probable dominator, and then, if you think Bell gets there, that's the issue. It's so hard to trust Christopher Bell. I know I say this every single time. It's so hard to trust Christopher Bell. Because starting third and at 10K, like, you need him to lead laps. He can't just run fourth all day and finish there. Then I'd rather have Truex and the upside there. I'd still rather go. I mean, you could go Chastain here, I guess, but I'd still probably rather go Blaney in this situation. What if you did this? Oh, I'm going to be a fucking $100 short, ain't I? I was trying to get Gregson in there. If you could go Hamlin, Truex, Logano, Bowman, Gregson, which obviously you still can, but I'd like to get Hocevar on there. Man. Corey Heim, like I said, he did go decently in practice. I'm going to roll with this one, actually. Just because I want to have some Corey Heim exposure, and like I said, I like Hocevar. Okay, catching up here. Bowman hated his car in practice. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't like. I understand why people are high on him. He pulls top tens out of his ass on a weekly basis. Sorry if I missed it. Any thoughts on Gibbs? Yeah, I mean, here's the thing with Ty Gibbs. He always practices so well. And I do think the potential's there for him to get up there and lead. I think his he's only $8,400, so I think a ton of people are going to have Gibbs. I don't know if the speed's going to back it up, because typically he doesn't really back it up on race day. But he did run the Xfinity race yesterday, so that helps. But yeah, I have Gibbs on my list of potential dominators today for sure. It's hard not to, starting 8th. Gibbs or Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota, and then fast in practice. Larson, Hamlin, Busch, Berry, Allmendinger, Gilliland. Thoughts? Could pivot off Berry and take Wallace. Larson, Hamlin, Busch, Berry. If you're going Larson, Hamlin, I wouldn't go Berry. Taking 3 of the top 4, it's unlikely that all 3 of them grab dominator points. And the reason you'd go Berry is to get, chances are Josh Berry is not going to finish top 5. He's going to slide back and probably be in that lower, like a good day is probably going to be about an 8th place finish for Josh Berry. If he doesn't, if he has the car, if he doesn't have the car to win, if he does not dominate, he's going to slide back to like an 8th. That's a good day for him. However, if you think that he has a car that can dominate and challenge for the win, which looked very good in practice, you're not going to want to go Larson and Hamlin then as well, because there's too much. They take up too much money. And if they're not getting the dominator points and Barry is, you'd much rather go place differential somewhere else. So I like with this kind of build, if you're stuck on going Hamlin Larson, I'd much rather, pivot off of Barry and go, like you said, a Bubba Wallace, maybe jump down even and grab a Noah Gragson. Which obviously, that gives you an extra 500 to work with if you wanted to, but or yeah, like you said, go Bubba Wallace. So that's my thoughts on that particular lineup there. How would you start a single entry build? I think you're immediately starting. To me, single entry build, I'm starting Hamlin. I'm probably going Hamlin, Truex, Blaney, and that's where I'm starting. Those are my favorite picks today. You're definitely starting like the first ad, I think, with any lineup is Denny Hamlin. Too much speed on similar tracks this year. He won Dover. He's been great at Nashville. Like everything is pointing to Denny Hamlin having a day. But that brings up this next question. Fade Denny Hamlin in single entries, or is that too risky? You know me. I'm a contrarian DFS player. I'm all about, especially in single entries, I'm all about that. I don't think I could get there today. It would take a lot to convince me to fade Denny Hamlin in a single entry contest. Outside of if I was still playing the volume like I used to, where I'm, playing all or a good amount of the contests available. Yeah, I'm going to have a single entry in there, maybe two where I don't have Denny Hamlin, just, the off chance that he throws it into the wall lap one. But to me, Denny Hamlin is Denny Hamlin is the guy today. And it's hard to see him not lead a bunch of laps today. Like I said, pole sitter's always been good at Nashville. He's been great at the similar tracks. He's been great at Nashville. Everything is pointing to Denny Hamlin having a day. So as much as I want to, as much as my history of a DFS player has been doing that in situations where it's risky, I can't say I'm there today with fading Denny Hamlin. Let me see here. So what if so trying to grab Truex in addition to Hamlin and Larson in the lineup, you can actually build a decent one here if you went Hamlin, Truex, Larson, Bubba. And like I said, it's not rainbows and unicorns, but going Hemrick and Allmendinger. I'm probably too high on Allmendinger today, but I'll die on that hill. I'm fine with that. Gosh, I'm backing Colleague Racing. This is how you know my day can go to shit when I feel good about Colleague Racing. But I do like this lineup. If you wanted to come off of Truex and get down to Blaney, that gives you an extra 500 to mess around with. You can get a LaJoy instead of a Hemrick. I'll probably do something similar like that. Bubba. But I don't hate this lineup right here. Lock that one in. I am going to go ahead and do that other variation there, though. Excuse me. Larson Hamlin, you've come down and grab Blaney. If you wanted to grab a Bubba Wallace, go AJ Allmendinger, get you up to Justin Haley. Ooh, this is a chalk lineup right here. This is probably where everybody's going to land. Maybe not Hocevar, but I do like this. Larson, Hamlin, Chastain. Larson, where the fuck's Larson at? And right now I'm just trying to get some Larson exposure. Like I said, it's easy to build the Hamlin Larson lineups today and still feel relatively confident on the rest of your line. You know, if they do their job and the two DOMs are Larson and Hamlin, like, you just got to get the other pieces right. But it's DraftKings pricing this week. I don't know if they got lazy. I don't know what they did, but if you stuck here, you go Hamlin, Larson, come down and grab a Gregson off of Bubba. So last one we had Chastain, and then we had Hocevar and Stenhouse. Gives you an extra 500. You can go Blaney there. And then you could go Allmendinger off of Stent Ike. I like that. Hamlin, Larson, Blaney, Gregson, Allmendinger, and Hocevar. And I'm going to build a few of these lineups with this similar build here. I really like how this works out. But like I said, I feel like so many people are going to go Hamlin, Larson. That's going to be their first two clicks. And rightfully so. Rightfully so, but as I said before, my first three would be Hamlin, Truex, Blaney. But you go Hamlin, Larson, Chastain, Gregson. There we go. Allmendinger, Stenhouse. Hamlin, Larson, Chastain, Gregson, Allmendinger, Stenhouse. Lock that in. Then Hamlin, Larson. Now let's try to get Truex in here. Hamlin, Larson, Truex. See if we can get him with a Gregson in here. Go Gregson. If you go LaJoy, get you up to Eric Jones. I don't hate that. I need an Eric Jones lineup. Hamlin, Larson, Truex, Gregson, Eric Jones, and Corey LaJoy. Lock that one in. If you have not, by the way, joined my private DraftKings contest, I tweeted out the link earlier today. I'll retweet it here right now. $10 entry. Make sure you get in on that. As always, if you are not subscribed to my premium NASCAR content on RotoBaller, use code Jordan24. It's going to save you some money. You're going to get access to my projections, my algorithm predicted finishing order, my bets every single week. The Stacking Denny's podcast goes on there. That's free. I've been doing more videos for RotoBaller this week, like preview videos, or this year. Those go on there. So is Twitter down or something? Why isn't that working for me? Nope. There we go. I just retweeted that. So make sure you get in on there. So we go Hamlin Larson. Let me throw in. Ooh. So if we go Hamlin, Larson, like I said, I don't hate Daniel Hemrick at his price point this week. You go Hamlin, Larson, Truex, Chastain, AJ Allmendinger. No. What am I doing? I screwed that up. Definitely not enough to do that. Oh, I clicked the wrong one. Oops. Hamlin, there we go. Dang, I got excited. That would have been a hell of a fucking lineup. Okay, go Hamlin, Larson, Truex. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we already did that one. Yeah, Hamlin, Larson, Bubba. Okay. Now, try to see what my projections or some other ones that my projections really like. If we do and grab like a come down and grab Logano. If you go Chastain, Larson, Hamlin, Chastain, Logano, Allmendinger, Hemrick. As weird as it sounds, I think Logano might go under-owned today. Just because of the, Kyle Busch is under him, Bubba Wallace is under him, but then the Chastain is right there too. I'm interested to see where Logano ends up on ownership today. I guess I do have him projected decently high. But he's one of the, ownership of, or Logano's ownership is typically just lower than normal. Or lower, not lower than normal, lower than what it should be. Kind of misspoke there. I'm going to come back to this lineup, though, and get off Allmendinger and go, ooh, I know what I can do here. So the interesting thing is with Hamlin, Larson, Chastain, Logano, every single Allmendinger, Hemrick lineup can be switched out to go LaJoy Hocevar. So just keep that in mind. I really like Spire Motorsports today. Obviously, I really like Allmendinger today, but every single one of them can be, they're the same price. So every single one of them can be switched out. I'm actually going to do that for the ones that I have locked in. Hamlin, Larson, Chastain, Logano, and then Hocevar, LaJoy. If you have any more questions, go ahead and throw this in. If you're not following me on the Action app, make sure you do. Obviously, I track my bets there. But Chase Elliott was still minus 125 for a top 10 today. I really like that. I think Chase is going to be strong today. should be like, I was surprised. So a lot of other books. So Bet365 open chase at -125 last night. And that was one of those where I saw it and I'm like, oh, that looks good. I should probably bet that. I wanted to sleep on it though. When I get super confident in races or like opening lines, and especially like after last week, I kind of want to just take a little step back and like really think things through. So I didn't bet it last night. I slept on. I woke up this morning early and they moved it to -180. So I was like, I'm not betting -180. But then opened Bet Rivers and they still had him at -125. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put a little bit on this. So I do have Chase Elliott top 10 today, -125. I also like Gregson top 10 finish at +360. That's available over on DraftKings. So those are my two bets that I have made today when it comes to top 10s. And I haven't really bet anything else. I have a Hamlin +650 ticket from earlier this week. Shout out to Nick, my co-host of Stacking Denny's, Nick Giffen at Action Network. He was kind of talking to me a little bit before the lines moved on Hamlin, and I just quickly, threw a bet on there for Hamlin because he convinced me, and as soon as I did, or soon after I did, after Nick's article went up, the line moved to +550, so I couldn't track it in the Action app. But I do have Hamlin sitting at +650. I have a ticket on that. Just didn't have the time to track it on Action app, and the rules there I can't if the line moves. So sitting on that, feeling good about that. That's my only outright bet. So if you want to fade Denny Hamlin today, keep in mind that the Jordan jinx is on Denny Hamlin technically because he's the only guy that I have an outright bet on. That's something to keep to remember. Let's see here. This one. So the other, I'm just looking at the lineups that I have Allmendinger and Hemrick in it. I'm gonna put the alternate version as well with Hocevar and LaJoy. So this one is Truex, Hamlin, Larson, Bubba, Bubba, LaJoy, and Hocevar. And then, of course, the first lineup that I put in, Hamlin, Truex, Blaney Chastain, and then you could go Hocevar, LaJoy. All right. Larson, Hamlin, Elliott, Logano, Hemrick, and Nemechek. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I just don't love it. I wish you had an extra 100 there to go. Truex instead of Elliott. I do like Elliott. I think he's a nice pivot off of Truex. But just, straight up projection-wise, I like Truex a lot. I don't hate it. I don't really. John Hunter Nemechek's one of those. I can see he's just not great, so I'd probably go in a different way. Like you look at, he's probably going to be a high 20s finisher. So to me, I'd rather take I'd probably honestly rather go. I would personally rather go Haley or LaJoy. It gives you a little bit of room to go there if you wanted to switch off of Elliott or something. Let me see here. Let's go back to there's any other Larson Hamlin builds I really like. Ooh. So what if we went Hamlin, Larson? Oops. Chastain, Ty Gibbs. Hemrick, Todd Gilliland. And obviously you can come off of Gilliland. You can come down to Allmendinger or Jones or Stenhouse if you wanted to. But I'm gonna roll with this one. Hamlin, Larson, Chastain. And I said I want to be under on Chastain, but I've ended up with a lot more Chastain. Which I think, like I said, I think a ton of people are going to be on Chastain, and that's why I kind of like being underweight. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I will own up to that one for sure. I'll be the first one to be like, yep, I fucked up. Lock that one in, and then I'm going to come back to this. Go Larson, Hamlin, Blaney, Ty Gibbs, Stenhouse, Hemrick. Hell yeah, I like that. LaJoy top 10, 27-1. I can get behind that. I didn't realize he was 27-1, but that, yeah, I think I do remember seeing that earlier today. Heck yeah. Suarez or Heim? I'd rather go Heim. Suarez, like, I don't love either of them, but I'd rather go Heim. Larson, Hamlin. So last time I did was Larson, Hamlin, Blaney, Ty Gibbs, and then Stenhouse. 100 short. Larson, Hamlin, Chastain, Gibbs, Stenhouse, LaJoy. You could also go Hocevar there if you wanted to. I got one lineup left. Like I said, if you have any more questions, make sure you throw them in quick. Going on an hour and 10 minutes. So thanks for everybody that tuned in. We'll do one more lineup here. Let me see. Who do I need? Who do I need some more of? There's quite a few ways there's just so many ways you can go this week. But it really makes it fun. I did do that one. So I did have the one non-Hamlin lineup. And on that one, we did with Barry, where we did Truex, Blaney, Chastain, Logano, Josh Berry, and LaJoy. Now, what if we... Truex, Blaney, Bell, Stenhouse with Joy. Or Larson, Truex, Blaney, Chastain, Stenhouse, Hemrick. I'm going to roll with that one. And if I had more lineups, I'd probably do more of doing a Larson instead of Hamlin build. But I'm going to roll with this one. Obviously quite high on those four of Truex, Blaney, Chastain, Larson, and then, of course, Hamlin. But lock that one in. There is, okay, so we need a chaos lineup, an untimely caution during green flag pit stops. Or a pop. Yeah, so there is a chance for rain today. I did notice that. I haven't been paying a ton of attention to like the weather in Nashville, but like I mean it's summer and we could have well, chaos to me is definitely a freaking Christopher Bell lineup. Let's focus on this mid $8,000 range right here. Oh, I actually don't hate that at all. I actually do not hate that. If you're off of Hamlin, if you're off of so Truex, Reddick, Keselowski, Gibbs, Chastain, LaJoy. And obviously, like if you wanted to go Blaney, gives you plenty of room to move around elsewhere. Yeah. Christopher Bell's the weather guy. Let's go Bell, Logano, Kez, Gibbs, Chastain. If you came down off of I feel like this also could be one of those Reddick weeks where he just does Tyler Reddick things. He did not make a long run at all in practice, did he? He didn't even make a 10-lap run. I feel like I already lucked out with Tyler Reddick this week. I had him. One of my bets this week was Reddick over Buescher in qualifying, and obviously Buescher came out with a bunch of speed, and Reddick didn't have a ton of speed in practice. Yeah, I need more Reddick. I need more Reddick exposure. I definitely do. I still like this. I agree with you that Bell is the weather lineup guy, but I like this right here. Truex, Reddick, Gibbs, Keselowski, Chastain, and Corey LaJoy. Reddick and Hamlin were clearly test. Oh. I missed that. I don't know how I missed that one. That makes sense, though. Yeah, that would explain the. Then they may change. Yeah. So I'd assume that's what they did on Reddick's too, right? Since he didn't make a long run. But yeah, one final question: thoughts on the radio conversation between Larson and Spotter concerning Hamlin? I think Larson was just frustrated. I honestly, when I first saw it or saw the tweets going around about it, I thought it was going to be a bigger deal than it was going to be made a bigger deal than what they did. To me, Larson was just frustrated and just, I mean, it's not like he doesn't have a history of saying stuff in the heat of the moment. So I have no concern about it. I completely forgot about it after it happened. Like I said, I'm surprised it didn't. I'm sure it'll come up on the broadcast today, but not a big deal in my opinion. It's fine. Not a big deal. Good luck today to everybody today. Thank you all for tuning in to this live stream. Like I said, I try to do these on a regular basis. Sometimes I'm just too busy, but thank you all for tuning in. Good luck today. If you're playing DFS, if you have bets out there, good luck. And then we got what race do we have next week? Chicago Street Course? I think that's right. You'd think I'd have the schedule memorized. Yeah. Chicago Street Course, Pocono, Indy, and then we get 2 weeks off for the Olympics. So hopefully today is a good race at Nashville. Yeah, I think Jones can move up. Can Jones do anything? I know it's slow, but it's kind of, yeah. Jones, they are so bad at qualifying. And then they kind of just keep improving in the race. And if he can, stay one lap down or stay on the lead lap, even better. That's kind of how they move up. They've been doing it all year. Definitely think he's a pretty safe option down there for place differential points. I don't see Eric Jones going out and competing for a top 15, but DraftKings wise, he's priced at what, 6,600 this week. Starting 34th, I think he can get in the mid 20s, which is more than enough to hit value there in that price range. So definitely not against taking Eric Jones this week. I don't have a ton of him. He didn't really pop on many of my rosters during this live stream, but I cannot fault anybody for taking him. So good luck, everybody. Like I said, thank you for tuning in, and we'll probably be back next week to talk about Chicago. So good luck, guys.